You will watch my videos. Watch them. Watch them. I will make you watch my videos. Watch them. Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Can he get rebooted? Yes, he can. How many times? A lot of times. Yeah, man. They're rebooting Spider-Man. Okay. Well, in this video, I'm not going to just talk about the news of Spider-Man being rebooted and Marvel and Sony letting them use each other's, letting them use Sony letting Marvel use characters. All that stuff has been heard about by now. By the time this gets uploaded, who knows what time it will be. So as a lifelong fan of Spider-Man, I'm doing something different. I'm not doing a nerd news. I'm doing what I want from the Spider-Man, next Spider-Man. Now I'm not going to go. I'm going to start right away saying that I don't care as long as it's a good actor who's Spider-Man, who's cast as Spider-Man. I think they should start with Peter Parker, whoever they do, simply because although I do think it's time for Miles Morales, what I think it doesn't really. You need to have a good Peter Parker in a universe before you can put him in there. He's a legacy hero. He has to live up to Peter Parker's legacy. You can't have him be. That's just not fair to the Miles Morales characters jumping the gun. And if they want to replace him next, they should have Miles Morales come. Whatever they do, that's my thoughts on that. Now what I'm going to go with is actually talk about what I would like to see. Because we've seen all these love stories, and they say they want to get away from that, which is cool, because in the comics, during high school, there was never like a romance type thing. The most, I think, the earliest stuff was like Liz Allen or some cheerleader, just kind of like a crush, like, oh, I'd show all them, Flash and Liz Allen, that I'm not just puny Peter Parker or whatever. That should be as far as it goes, because he didn't get like a social life until like pretty much when he was in the college part of his story arc, and if they're going back to high school, they got to do that right. See, they had it almost right with the Amazing Spider-Man 1, but they need to just have it focus on his interaction with other students and him be somewhere in between both interpretations of Peter Parker. And the next thing is, how do you want to do this? Well, I think, because we've rebooted so many times, you don't want to see another origin story. I do think, though, like having an opening scene where Peter Parker's like having a dream about Uncle Ben and to dream of the events that caused him to become Spider-Man, like a 5-10 minute dream, would be fine. Because then you'd know that he's troubled and whatever. And you can go through that. The most important part is it cannot just be about Spider-Man, it cannot be about Peter Parker trying to uncover anything. It's got to be about Peter Parker living a life and also trying to be a superhero. And it's got to be juxtaposed and cause trouble. That's when Peter Parker, Spider-Man comics are the best. He's got to be the main thing. That's where I feel like the last one had all this set up and stuff, and Peter Parker's only Peter Parker moments were trying to figure out with his parents, which is a fine thing to figure out. I don't mind that. But it's just, he's got to have like a character in Peter Parker that's just, and then he has to go out of his shell to be Spider-Man, and those two things should be evenly divided. And the villain couldn't have a part there, here and there. The villains are important, but it's got to be core. It's got to be Peter Parker's struggle, and the villain's got to emphasize or make his life more difficult. Either emphasize his struggle, or make his life more difficult as a superior villain. There's plenty of Spider-Man villains that are just kind of like, I'm robbing a bank. I throw pods at people. I wouldn't want that. I would open it like kind of like they did with the Amazing Spider-Man, with like a character that's just like, okay, he stops him. That's cool. Then have it get whatever. But I feel like that'd be the best. And then we go with villains. You know, I'm partially wanting Craven. Electro was always my favorite, and I feel like they kind of just didn't give Electro enough time to be as awesome as I think he would be in a movie. So I think Craven or Mysterio should be in a movie. Or you could go real follow the comics and have Chameleon come first, because he was like the first whatever. That would be kind of interesting if they wanted to go back and they could just whatever. In fact, the only way it can be exactly like the comics in some form of whatever would be like a TV series. But that's never going to happen. So I'm not doing a video on like what type of a thing would I think is the best, because that'd be a TV series. But how would they do this movie? And then the final thing I want to go into is like, you have you have to. The final thing I want to go into is seriously just the fact that he's going to be in the universe with all the other Marvel characters. How will he interact with those characters? Well, the comics have a great example of how he can interact with characters. Him talking to Captain America, saying like, "You're a bullied as a kid, weren't you? Bullied as a kid in high school, weren't you?" And he said, "Yes, I guess I was." And he's like, "Me too." Because that's good. He's a good comic relief moment. He's a good person you can just put in there and light any situation up. He's perfect for a team like that. Now, he's not going to be like the big, but he'll be able to help out and he'll be able to be there. Probably won't be part of the Avengers, but he never really was until recently. And I just think those type of interactions, some snarky, kind of goof, like funny reactions would be great in the Marvel Universe. And I'm just so glad they're given the chance for this to happen. Now, I am bummed because Andrew Garfield, I think, was the best actor so far to play Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And he had great acting. And I think in the first movie, if they would have followed Amazing Spider-Man's example when it came to the second one, it would have been a better movie. But the final, biggest point about Spider-Man and why the idea that hopefully somebody doesn't try to do again and Marvel understands, which I think they do, because they understand how things work. You can't make a multiple universe, like alternate, like multiple whole world universe out of Spider-Man, because Peter Parker, no matter if you like this character better, this character, is the center. His life is the center of whatever, and if you try to go away from it, it just doesn't work out as well. And those are my thoughts on what I want to see in a Spider-Man movie. More Peter Parker, more Spider-Man, less other things, have a villain central to that, have another villain show up and just kind of have his motivations clear and Spider-Man has to stop him. The main character of Spider-Man should be Spider-Man. It's not like Batman where you can have you have to have a good villain. Villains have to be good and challenging, but they're not the point. Side characters should exist like they do in the comics to make you understand Peter Parker more. That's what they were. And a love story should happen gradually, and it should just be awkward interactions for the whole first movie. And maybe then they can get Betty Brant and actually have Betty Brant be as popular as she should be. It'll be like a little interest, whatever. Maybe Ned Leeds and Betty Brant. That's what I want. Ned Leeds and Betty Brant and Betty Brant. Is that her name? Yeah, because Gloria got someone else. Yeah, that'd be a good option because he's jealous of him, and that'd be kind of cool. They're a little older. And as I leave with that, that's my video. It wouldn't go in the order I exactly planned, but as you can tell, I'm excited about what's going to happen, and I'm going to keep you posted on this movie and another movie that's coming up in my next video, which, since I'm recording them at the exact same time, is going to be coming out soon. And I'll keep updated. I'm sure of it this time. Updates on these two movies. This movie and, but you can't guess. I don't have any fancy budget for other stuff. Don't have fancy budget.